Alright, so welcome back for part two of our butter cookie baking extravaganza. On a short, small side note, just be aware that things happen, right? So we were supposed to finish this up yesterday, it didn't happen. Alright, here it is the following day, early morning. Life happens, especially if you have toddlers. Things don't always go the way that you want them to. So after two iterations of two separate dinners, finally got everybody settled. Back to that phone call yesterday. So today now is day 6 of my actual retirement. And that phone call that interrupted the videos yesterday was actually from U.S. Army Recruiting Command trying to get me to join the Army. Bit of funny first thing for you today. So for the process that we have today, I've already got the oven preheated. It takes this oven a little bit, so got that going before starting the video. What you're going to do is you're going to preheat the oven to 375. You're going to bake anywhere between 10 to 12 minutes. Adjust as you need to. Some cookies will take longer than others depending on their thickness and everything else. Also, if you want to take into all the variations, altitude, humidity, all these, the full gamut of things, right? It's just like, in the Army, if you're shooting long distance, you have to take into all these extra considerations, wind velocity, humidity, temperature, because it will affect trajectories. So, we got that. We already got our trays lined with parchment paper. Gonna go ahead and pull the cookies out of the fridge, as you can see. So, with the cookies like this, it is pretty firm. It makes it easier to cut and slice. And we just use any sharp blade. I wouldn't suggest a serrated blade because you're going to end up with a lot of cookie pieces. Now, if you want to piece them together afterwards, by all means, do what you need to. But we'll go ahead and get going. Basically, you want to wrap it and just kind of be careful because the parchment's going to want to stick. We already have a crack there, so that's all right. You can cut around it, and then as it warms up, you can kind of mush them back together. So definitely wash hands. You always want to wash hands before you're touching your food, just general food safety. So with the parchment and the baking sheets, one thing I'll show you a little trick that we learned that really helps, and it also keeps, especially if you have small helpers, it'll help keep them involved, but not overly involved. So when you pull the parchment out, a lot of times it's going to want to try and roll back up to help fight this. We just crumple it up into a ball, right? It's something that it makes noise, it crinkles, it keeps them entertained for at least, the 45 seconds. And then you just flatten it back out. And then it will actually stay flat on the trays a lot easier. Now, like I said, I'm not gonna push products, but just a simple utility knife, sharpened blade, and non-serrated works best. What I like to do is I will cut off the very ends. Set them aside, let them basically kind of warm up to room temperature a little bit. This way it becomes easier to turn them back into cookies and we're not wasting product. And you can do the same thing with where it's split in the center. If you end up with a crack like that, just let it warm up. You can smush them together. And it gives you a nice solid edge. Now, how thin I like to slice them is about like that. Let's see if I can't focus on that. It's maybe a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch. Nothing too much bigger than that, because then you're going to kind of struggle with consistency with the baking. And because this has been refrigerated, like I said, it becomes a lot easier to slice and prep. You can make them thinner if you want. You just need to adjust the baking time. By the end of our baking capacity of the oven, we actually end up shortening the time. We really start paying attention down at like the 8 to 10 minute window, just to make sure that we're not burning them. Alright, so that's enough for now. So we're not going to be too concerned with cookie growth. They're going to stay roughly the same size. So on our very small tray, what I end up doing is about 12, 3 rows of 4. I leave about 1 inch to 1/2 inch in between the spacing on them. There is some growth, but not much. There's one tray. Now, like I said, for the initial cook time on this, you're going to want 10 to 12 minutes. Really start paying attention at that 12-minute window, because the outer aspects or the outer edges of these will start to brown up pretty quickly at that 10-minute window mark. So just be careful, pay attention. Now, if you like softer cookies, just pay attention a little bit earlier. The biggest thing I found is the smell. You get that cookie smell, which you really need to start paying attention. Pop these in, and then I'll pause the video. We'll go ahead and come back, and then you can kind of see what goes on with it. All right, thanks. All right, so welcome back. It's been about 12 minutes. Timer just went off. Go ahead and pull them out. Sliced everything else up, traded up, and you'll get roughly anywhere between, depending if you use that same slicing, you'll get about 5 to 6 dozen cookies out of the double batch. Okay, so you can see, like I said, there's some growth. Now you'll notice right around the edges a little bit of browning. That's when it's about time for them to come out. Unless you like really hard cooking, you can let them go for a little bit longer. But other than that, we just bake them all. depending on your surface, it may be cooling time, 5-10 minutes. If you have cooling racks, it'll definitely help more. Other than that, that's your basic butter cookie recipe. A little bit healthier than store-bought stuff. So hope you enjoy it, and make sure to subscribe, enjoy, and then definitely come along with this adventure with us. So see you next time.